Emily had always been a generous-hearted person. She worked as a server at a busy diner in the city centre. One day, while cleaning a table near the window, she saw a thin, hungry street dog. Their eyes met, and she felt a pang of sadness in her heart. "You're hungry, aren't you?" Emily murmured, looking at the dog outside. She glanced around, making sure no one was paying attention, and grabbed a pastry from the display case. With a shy smile, she slipped out the side door and knelt beside the dog. "Here, little one, I hope this helps," she said, extending the pastry to the dog, who quickly began to eat. As she watched Theo devour the pastry, she felt a warm comfort in her heart. But this tender moment was abruptly interrupted by a harsh voice. "Emily, what do you think you're doing?" shouted Mr. Thompson, the owner of the diner, who had witnessed the entire scene. Emily quickly stood up, her heart racing. "Mr. Thompson, I was just helping. He looked so hungry. What you did is unacceptable. You can't give away the diner's food as if it were your own," he said, his face red with anger. "You're fired." "I was just trying to help," she whispered, feeling tears well up in her eyes. "Pack your things and leave right now," he ordered, turning and walking back into the diner without looking back. Feeling wronged and sad, Emily gathered her few belongings and left the diner with tears in her eyes. Theo, the dog she had helped, followed her home, becoming her faithful companion. As she walked through the streets, Emily felt a mix of sadness and relief, knowing that despite everything, she had done the right thing. Emily felt a weight lift off her shoulders as she walked home. Even with the sadness of losing her job, there was a small flame of satisfaction for having helped Theo. The dog, now her loyal companion, walked beside her, wagging his tail. When she got home, Emily opened the door, and Theo hesitantly entered, sniffing the surroundings. "Welcome to our home, Theo," Emily said with a gentle smile. "Let's see what we have for you to eat." Emily prepared a bowl of water and some leftover dog food from when she had cared for another dog. Theo ate eagerly, and Emily felt a wave of affection for the animal. As Theo settled into a cozy corner of the living room, Emily began to think about how she would explain the situation to her mother, who was sick and bedridden. Emily was her mother's primary caregiver, and the household's income came from her salary at the diner. "Mom, I'm home," Emily called out as she entered the bedroom. Emily's mother, Catherine, smiled weakly at her daughter. "Hi, dear. How was work today?" Emily took a deep breath and sat on the edge of the bed. I was fired, Mum." Catherine's eyes widened in surprise. "What? But why?" "I saw a hungry street dog through the window and gave him a pastry. Mr. Thompson didn't like it and fired me," Emily explained, trying to hold back her tears. Catherine sighed and held her daughter's hand. "You did the right thing, Emily. I've always known you have a heart of gold. We'll get through this together." In the days that followed, Emily and Theo became inseparable. He accompanied her on walks around the neighborhood and proved to be a great listener for her worries and dreams. Theo seemed to understand the pain and difficulties Emily faced, always staying by her side during the hardest times. Emily began to search for a new job, sending out resumes and attending interviews. However, her mother's condition worsened each day, making it harder for Emily to focus on her job hunt. Theo, on the other hand, seemed to sense the gravity of the situation. Often, he would lie next to Catherine's bed, offering a silent comfort that only a loyal friend could provide. One night, as Emily was preparing dinner, she heard her mother's weak voice calling. "Emily, dear, can you come here for a moment?" She rushed to the bedroom and saw Catherine stroking Theo's head. "You know, Emily, this dog is a real blessing. He's brought a bit of joy to our difficult days." Emily smiled, feeling grateful to have Theo in their lives. "Yes, Mom, he really is special." The days turned into weeks, and despite all of Emily's efforts, finding a new job seemed like an impossible mission. Each interview ended with a polite "no," and the bills began to pile up. Emily felt the weight of responsibility growing on her shoulders. "Don't worry, Theo. I'll find a way," Emily said, trying to maintain hope while petting the dog who was always by her side. One afternoon, after yet another failed interview, Emily returned home exhausted and disheartened. Theo ran to her, wagging his tail, but she could only muster a weak smile. "Hi, boy. Sorry, today wasn't a good day," she said, sinking into the couch. In the bedroom, Catherine coughed more frequently. her health clearly deteriorating. Emily felt a wave of despair, realizing that her time was running out. The next morning, Emily set out to look for a job once again, leaving Theo to take care of her mother. She walked through various stores and restaurants, but the answers were always the same. "We're not hiring at the moment," or "Sorry, but we need someone with more experience." As she walked through the city, tears began to silently roll down her face. "What am I going to do? I need a job. I need to take care of my mom," Emily thought, feeling more alone than ever. One day, while passing through a park, Emily decided to sit on a bench to reflect. Theo, ever faithful, sat beside her, resting his head on her lap. She began to cry openly, and Theo licked her tears, trying to console his friend. "Why is life so hard, Theo? What did we do to deserve this?" Emily asked, even though she knew the dog couldn't answer. An elderly lady passing through the park noticed Emily crying and approached. "Dear, is everything all right?" Emily quickly wiped her tears, trying to compose herself. "Yes, ma'am. I'm just having a tough day." The lady smiled sympathetically. "I've had my tough days too. Sometimes it seems like everything is falling apart. But believe me, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel." Emily thanked the lady, and after a while decided to go back home. Upon entering, she found her mother weaker than ever. Catherine smiled weakly at her daughter. "How was today, Emily?" Emily felt a lump in her throat. "I didn't get anything, Mum, but I won't give up. We'll find a solution." Catherine held Emily's hand with what little strength she had. "You've always been a fighter. I believe in you." The days continued to be a constant struggle. Emily did everything she could to care for her mother and search for a new job, while Theo became increasingly essential in their daily routine, offering emotional support and joy amid the difficulties. In a moment of desperation, Emily decided to ask for help from some friends and neighbors. Although many couldn't help financially, they offered words of encouragement and small food donations. Weeks passed, and the situation became even more desperate. Emily continued to tirelessly look for a job, but the negative responses persisted. Theo, her loyal companion, was always by her side, offering silent consolation. One morning, as Emily was having her coffee, a letter arrived in the mail. It was from the hospital. Her hands trembled as she opened the letter, fearing the worst. "Emily, dear, did something important come?" Catherine asked from the bed. Emily took a deep breath and read the letter aloud. "It's a bill from the hospital. They're charging for Mum's treatments." Despair grew within her. "What are we going to do, Mum? I don't know what to do anymore." Catherine held her daughter's hand with the little strength she had. "You've done so much already, Emily. Don't give up. Something good will happen, I know." That day, Emily decided to try something different. She went to a small cafe on the corner that was opening a new branch. She entered, determined to at least get an interview. "Hi, my name is Emily. I'd like to speak with the manager, please," she said to the server. The manager, a kind man named Mr. Harrison, appeared and led her to a table. "How can I help you, Emily?" Emily told her story, from being fired at the diner to struggling to care for her sick mother. Mr. Harrison listened attentively without interrupting. "I need a job. Anything you have," she pleaded, with tears in her eyes. Mr. Harrison looked at her with sympathy. "You know, Emily, your story touched my heart. We need a dedicated person like you. I can offer you a part-time position for now. How does that sound?" Emily felt a wave of relief. "Thank you so much, Mr. Harrison. This means a lot to me." She rushed home to share the good news with her mother. "Mum, I got a job. It's part-time, but it's a start." Catherine smiled, her eyes shining with pride. "I knew you could do it, my daughter. I knew." With the new job, Emily began to have a small income. Although it wasn't enough to cover all expenses, it eased the pressure a bit. Theo, always by her side, seemed to understand that things were getting a little better. One night, as Emily was preparing dinner, she heard her mother calling. "Emily, can you come here for a moment?" She rushed to the bedroom and found Catherine stroking Theo's head. "Emily, I want you to know that I'm very proud of you. I know things have been tough, but you are a true warrior." Emily held back tears, feeling more determined than ever to take care of her mother and build a better life for both of them. With the new job, Emily began to see a small ray of hope. Working at Mr. Harrison's cafe was a blessing, and she dedicated herself fully to being a good employee. Theo continued to be her loyal companion, always by her side. During her shifts, Emily met a new colleague named Daniel. He was kind and always willing to help, which quickly made Emily feel comfortable around him. Over time, they began to hang out together after work, and a friendship blossomed. "You're going through a lot, Emily," Daniel said one night as they walked through the park. "I want you to know I'm here for you, for whatever you need." "Thank you, Daniel. Your friendship means a lot to me," Emily replied, feeling grateful to have someone to rely on. Their closeness grew, and soon the friendship turned into something more. Daniel was a constant support, helping Emily face challenges with a smile and an open heart. They began dating, and his presence brought some light to Emily's difficult days. One night, Daniel suggested, "How about we have dinner together tonight? We can invite your mother too. It would be nice for her to get out a bit." Emily smiled, feeling grateful. "I'd love that. She will really enjoy it." That night, Daniel arrived at Emily's house with a bouquet of flowers for Catherine. "Hello, Mrs. Catherine. It's a pleasure to meet you," he said, handing over the flowers. Catherine smiled, clearly charmed. "Thank you very much, Daniel. Emily speaks very highly of you." Dinner was pleasant, full of laughter and lively conversations. Emily felt a happiness she hadn't experienced in a long time, seeing her mother smile and have fun. Daniel proved to be excellent company, making Catherine laugh with his funny stories. After dinner, they decided to take a walk in the park, bringing Theo along. "Let's walk a bit. It's such a beautiful night," Emily suggested. As they strolled through the park, Theo ran joyfully around them, and Daniel held Emily's hand. "I'm happy to be here with you," he said, looking at Emily with affection. Catherine walked beside them, watching the interaction between Emily and Daniel. "You two make a lovely couple," she commented, smiling. The following days were filled with more happy moments. Daniel became a constant presence in Emily and Catherine's lives, always helping when he could and bringing joy to their home. They had dinners together, watched movies and took walks with Theo. Each shared moment strengthened the bond between them. One afternoon, while they were all in the park, Catherine stopped to rest on a bench. "Emily, I'm so happy to see you finding happiness, even in difficult times," she said, petting Theo, who was beside her. "Thank you, Mum. Daniel has brought a lot of light into our lives," Emily replied, holding Daniel's hand. Daniel smiled and looked at Catherine. "I just want to do my best to help and be by Emily's side." Catherine sighed, feeling grateful to have Daniel in her daughter's life. "You are a wonderful young man, Daniel. Thank you for everything." Despite the financial difficulties and Catherine's frail health, those moments of happiness and love gave Emily the strength she needed to keep fighting. She knew that with Daniel by her side, she could face any challenge. 5 years passed since Emily and Daniel met. Much had changed during that time, but Emily's love and determination continued to guide her. She and Daniel married in a beautiful ceremony in the park, where they used to walk with Theo. The day was sunny, and Catherine, whose health had improved considerably, was present to see her daughter get married. "You look beautiful, my daughter," said Catherine, holding Emily's hands before the ceremony. "I'm so proud of you." "Thank you, Mum. I wouldn't have made it this far without you," Emily replied, emotional. Daniel, waiting at the altar, looked at Emily with a mix of love and admiration. When she began walking down the aisle, accompanied by Theo, everyone's eyes filled with tears. Theo, now older and a bit slower, walked beside Emily with dignity and love. The ceremony was full of laughter, tears, and sincere promises. Emily and Daniel pledged eternal love, in joy and in sorrow, in health and in sickness. After the ceremony, everyone celebrated with an outdoor reception, where Catherine gave a touching speech about her daughter's strength and resilience. "Emily has always been a warrior. And Daniel, you have brought so much joy to our lives. I'm eternally grateful to have you in our family," said Catherine, emotional. Time passed quickly, and soon Emily and Daniel received the news that they were expecting a baby. The arrival of a child brought new joy to their lives. Little Jack was born healthy and full of energy, bringing more light and love to the family. "He's perfect," said Daniel, holding the baby in his arms. "He has your eyes, Emily." Emily smiled, feeling complete. And your smile? We're a perfect family. Catherine, now stronger and more active, helped take care of Jack and delighted in spending time with her grandson. He is a gift from heaven, she would say, playing with Jack in her lap. However, as the family grew and strengthened, Theo began to show signs of aging. His movements were slower, and he seemed tired. Emily, Daniel, and Catherine did everything possible to ensure that Theo was comfortable and well cared for. One night, while Emily and Daniel were on the couch, Theo lay down beside them, resting his head on Emily's lap. "He's getting older, Daniel. I don't know how much longer we'll have with him," Emily said, petting Theo's head tenderly. "I know it's hard, but he had an amazing life and was always by your side, Emily." "We'll do everything we can to make sure he's comfortable and happy," Daniel replied, hugging his wife. Emily and Daniel began to adapt the house so that Theo could move around more easily. Catherine, who was also very attached to Theo, spent hours by his side, talking and petting him. "He was a real angel to us, Emily. We owe him so much," said Catherine, watching Theo with affection. Theo's days were filled with love and care. The family made sure to create happy memories with him, knowing that time was precious. Jack, who adored Theo, spent time gently playing with him and offering affection. One day, while they were all in the park, Theo lay down on the grass, looking at Emily and Daniel with eyes full of love and gratitude. Emily knelt beside him, holding his paw. "You will always be part of our family, Theo. Thank you for everything," she said, with tears in her eyes. The day came when Theo, after a life of loyalty and unconditional love, rested for the last time. The family gathered around a special place in the park where they always walked, determined to give Theo a dignified and grateful farewell. Emily, Daniel, Catherine, and little Jack were all present. Daniel dug a small grave next to a large leafy tree, a place where Theo always liked to rest in the shade. Emily held Theo in her arms, her tears mixing with a smile of gratitude. "He was the best friend anyone could have," Emily said, her voice choked with emotion. "He was always by our side in good times and bad." Catherine placed a hand on Emily's shoulder. "Theo taught us so much about love and loyalty. He was a true angel in our lives." As they gently placed Theo in the grave, Emily allowed herself to remember the many happy moments they shared. She remembered the day she first found Theo, hungry and scared, and how he became her faithful companion. She remembered how he was by her side during the toughest times, offering silent and unconditional comfort. She remembered the wedding, when Theo walked beside her, and how he was always present in moments of joy like Jack's birth. Each memory was a testament to the profound impact Theo had on their lives. Daniel, with a gentle voice, began to cover Theo with soil, each movement made with care and respect. "Goodbye, friend. Thank you for everything you did for us." Emily picked up a small white stone she had found in the park, a memento of Theo. She placed the stone on top of the grave, marking the spot where her dear friend would rest forever. "You will always be with us, Theo. Thank you for everything," she said, her words laden with love and gratitude. Catherine knelt beside the grave, placing a small flower. "You brought so much joy to our lives. We will never forget you." Little Jack, holding Emily's hand, looked at Theo's grave with childlike curiosity and understanding. "Mummy, is Theo in heaven now?" Emily smiled, wiping away tears. "Yes, my love. He's in a special place, always watching over us." The family stood in silence for a moment, each reflecting on their memories of Theo. There was sadness, but also a deep sense of gratitude for having had the fortune to share their lives with him. As the sun began to set, Emily stood up and looked at Daniel and Catherine. "Let's honor Theo's memory by living our lives with the same loyalty and love he showed us." Daniel nodded, hugging Emily. "He will always be a part of us." With heavy hearts, but full of gratitude, the family left the park, knowing that Theo would always be with them in their memories and hearts. He had left a legacy of love that would continue to guide them, even in his absence. 20 years passed since Theo rested for the last time. Life followed its course, full of ups and downs, but always guided by the love and values that Theo had inspired in Emily and her family. Emily and Daniel lived a happy life together, facing challenges with courage and always supporting each other. Catherine, who had improved considerably, enjoyed many years of happiness with the family before passing away. Her death was peaceful, surrounded by love and gratitude for everything she had done for her daughter and grandson. Jack, the little boy who once played beside Theo, grew up and found his passion for animals. Inspired by his mother's stories about Theo and his own experience of growing up with such a loyal companion, he decided to become a veterinarian. Emily and Daniel supported Jack on his journey, proud of the path he had chosen. Jack dedicated his career to caring for abandoned dogs, giving them a chance at a better life, just as Theo had had. He became one of the most respected veterinarians in the city, known for his love and dedication to animals. "I'm so proud of you, Jack," Emily would often say. "Your work makes a difference in these animals' lives, just as Theo did in ours." Jack always responded with a smile. "Theo taught me the value of loyalty and unconditional love, Mum. I want to offer that to every dog I meet." With time, Emily and Daniel also passed away, leaving Jack with a legacy of love and resilience. The pain of losing his parents was softened by happy memories and the positive impact they had on his life. After his parents' deaths, Jack decided to expand his horizons and went to study abroad. He specialized in advanced veterinary medicine, and during this time he met his future wife, who also had a passion for animals. After settling abroad, Jack became a renowned veterinarian, known internationally for his contributions to animal health. He and his wife founded a leading veterinary clinic, where they not only cared for animals, but also trained new veterinarians, perpetuating the legacy of love and care that Theo had inspired. One day, Jack returned to the city where he grew up for a special visit. He took his family to the park where Theo was buried, wishing to share that significant place with his children. "This is a very special place," Jack told his children as they walked to the tree where Theo rested. "Here lies a great friend, Theo, who taught our family about love and loyalty." He looked up at the sky, feeling a deep peace and gratitude for everything Theo, his family, and his experiences had taught him. "Thank you, Theo, for everything. Your love lives in each of us and continues to guide us every day." Jack's family continued their walk, knowing that despite losses and challenges, they were united by a love that transcends time. And so Theo's legacy continued to illuminate their lives, a testament to the power of love, loyalty, and dedication. With this certainty, Jack and his family committed to continuing the work of caring for and protecting animals, honoring the legacy that began with a simple act of kindness from Emily many years ago.